So this chapter might be broken up because the baby is currently completely and totally attached with a singing toy that needs to be pressed every couple of minutes. With that being said, hi guys, this is Connie, back for some more Connie Reads The Dogs of Winter. I had to see what happens next after that last chapter, so hopefully without too many interruptions and without too much distraction in the background, here's Connie Reads chapter 46, titled Wild Child. The next day, snow dusted the ground. Still, just as the sun topped the trees, I went to the birch tree. The woman in the hat did not come. More snow fell the next day, and the next. Then, as sometimes happens in the late fall, the weather warmed. A salty breeze came from the ocean. The dogs played and hunted. I took the path to the tree. I smelled his cigarette before I even got to the thicket. I crouched in the shadow of a tall pine and listened. I heard voices rising and falling. I heard rough laughter. I did not hear the old woman's voice. I climbed the pine tree. It still had its needles and hid me well. From a branch high up, I could see over to the small clearing with the stream and the birch tree. 3 men in tall black boots, gray coats with shiny buttons, and red and black hats stood in the clearing. Militia. One of the men was the son of the woman in the hat. So your mother's been having trysts in the woods with a wild child? The shortest of the 3 laughed. She's not having trysts, her son snapped. She comes here to paint, and she says he comes here too, with a pack of mangy dogs. Probably one of those kids from over at that dump, the 3rd man said. It's disgusting how many Bombsy live over there with their kids. I say we round up all the filthy Bombsy and their children and ship them off to Siberia, the shortest one said. The woman's son said, I told her no child could live out here with a pack of wild dogs, but you know how mothers are. She won't let it alone until I find this boy. The other 2 men nodded. There's thousands of them street children, one of the men said. They're everywhere, like fleas on a dog. The 3 policemen smoked in silence and scuffed their shiny boots in the dead leaves, as if I might be hiding underneath. The old woman wanted to find me. She had sent her son and Militia to look for me. But why hadn't she come? Perhaps it was too cold for her with the snow on the ground. Perhaps, like Babusha Inya, she was afraid of falling on the ice. Then a thought seized me and wouldn't let go. Perhaps she was readying her house for us. Yes, she must have lived in a very big house if her son is a policeman. She would bring the dogs and me to live with her. She would clean us and feed us and cook porridge on her stove. I would have real books to read. I would again sleep in a bed, which I would, of course, share with the dogs, and eat out of a bowl, and I would be the very best boy. I have no idea if this is going to work. A cold wind set the branch I perched on swaying. Well, the old woman's son said, let's go roost some Bombsy over at the dump and ask about the boy. They flicked their cigarettes into the snow. The short one asked, how are we going to know which one he is? The son took a piece of paper from his coat pocket and unfolded it. Here, he said. She drew a picture of him. The men looked down at the paper. The 3rd policeman shook his head and said, he does look like a wild child. The short man hooted with laughter. I frowned. We'd see who'd be laughing when I had a bath and new clothes. The son folded the paper over and over. She calls him Mowgli. It's driving my wife crazy. I don't know what I was thinking bringing her to live with us. He clamped his hat to his head against the wind. 3 adults plus 2 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. He shook his head. My heart fell. What do we do with him if we find him? The 3rd Militia said. The old woman's son stuffed the drawing of me, her Mowgli, into his pocket. An orphanage, of course, he said. What do you think, he'd come live with us? The men howled with laughter as they walked away. I held tight to the tree limb as the word dropped like a stone into my stomach. Orphanage. That night, I cuddled closer with the dogs than I had in a long time underneath our tree. You were right about the woman in the hat, I whispered to Little Mother. You and Smoke and Moon were all right. I should have listened. Little Mother washed and washed my face as if saying, never mind that now. I stroked Moon's face. It was just so nice to have someone to talk to who talked back, I said. Smoke shifted against Rip. She did not love you, Malkik. I know, I whispered. I thought perhaps she would love us and give us a home where we would be warm and safe. I felt Smoke's breath on my face. We are where you belong. I did not return to the birch tree. Mowgli was gone. And I'm sure that's the end of the chapter. Yep. Chapter 47 is next. So that was the end of chapter 46. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you. I'm going to listen to this real quick, and hopefully the sound was not too bad. If it's overly distracting, please leave me a comment. There's no guarantees right now, just based on the fact that I'm kind of hunkered around the baby. It's a little difficult, except when she's down for a nap, and even that's a bit of a challenge, because sometimes I want to sleep with her too. So have a great day, be careful with that, and enjoy, please and thank you. I'll see you for the next installment. Bye.